y'all, what's up? It's your girl Kelly, and we are back again with another video. So I just want to start off by saying thank you guys so much for clicking on this video and checking out my channel. And if you're new here, I hope you guys will hit that subscribe button. It's an easy way to help me out, and if you're into true crime stories, we do a little bit of politics, we do some news, culture, all that good stuff. And if you're into it, and if you like what you hear today, please go ahead and hit subscribe for me, guys. I would greatly appreciate that. And anyone who is returning, whether you're a subscriber, comment, like, whatever you do, interacting with my channel, it is very, very much appreciative. And I am so grateful to each and every last one of you guys. So thank you again. And so guys, I wanted to jump on here for a true crime story, and it might be one that you are familiar with. And if you are not, well, just get ready, because this one is a doozy. So today we're going to be getting into the case of a particular disturbed young fellow that actually murdered his parents. Okay, so we're going to talk about the victims first, as we do in this case, because that is the most important thing, is to remember the victims and to use these stories and these opportunities to kind of, have their memory and their legacy live on. Because in most of these cases, as you guys all know, their lives are stolen from them in such terrible ways that it's like you want to just talk about these things, but also talk about them in a way that you show homage to those victims. So our two victims in this case today, you can see pictured here on the screen, are going to be Joel Guy Sr. and Lisa Guy. Okay, so we're gonna the way this video is gonna work is we're gonna be kind of like going a little bit all over the place, because there's a lot having to do with this case. The reason why I kind of, as soon as I heard about this case, I got very, very attached to it, and it just is one of those ones that really can like draw you in because of just exactly how much information is actually available about this case. This case is widely talked about on YouTube. You can find, I'm sure, a bunch of other videos about it, but it is just, and it's a horrific and a gruesome crime that this guy did to his parents, so it's just, it's very, very, there's pictures, there's videos, there's all kinds of different things. There's notes, handwritten notes. So we're going to get into everything, guys, but like I said, it's going to be a lot of like, different things that we're going to be looking at. So I will try to make different warnings whenever we are looking at any graphic crime scene photos and things of that nature, but just be aware and be prepared that there are going to be, photos shown that are very hard to look at, and things that are going to be discussed that will be very hard to hear. So if you're not into that kind of thing, this video might not be for you. But if you are, this is kind of how it'll work. We'll go over basically a little background story, and I'm going to be showing you guys an article, or basically a timeline of what exactly happened, and then we're going to watch a crime scene video where we go through the entire house, and I will be reading you guys the murderer's handwritten notes and basically what he had laid out for his parents. And then I'll show you guys a few other things that have to do with like the aftermath of these crimes and how it was that he came to be caught, things like that. So just kind of giving you guys a rundown beforehand, just so y'all are aware. But without further ado, let's go ahead and let's start to get into it, guys. I'm going to pull up the article really quick, and it's not really an article, I guess you could say. I actually went on Reddit and was looking and found this kind of link. I think somebody actually put this together, but as far as I can tell, everything seems really accurate. They had some pictures that like I couldn't find really anywhere else that were also linked to the case. So It's and again, guys, I will leave all my stuff in the description box if you want to look at anything further or reference any of my sources or anything like that. Everything's going to be in the description, so I will include this as well, so you guys can take a look if you want to. So yeah, so let's get into this real quick, and let me make sure I'm at the top. Okay, all right, y'all. So here we go. Okay, so that's why it says IMGUR, because this was from Reddit, a link that somebody posted, and it's not really, I don't know, I think it's just like a, like I said, somebody made this. So here are our victims once again: Joel Guy Sr. and Lisa Guy. Okay, this is the story of the murders of Joel Guy Sr. and his wife Lisa Guy by their son Joel Guy Jr. on November 26, 2016. Joel Guy Sr., age 61, and Lisa Guy, age 55, were getting ready to retire and sell their Knoxville, Tennessee home in the month of November in 2016. They had a buyer for the home, and they had started to pack up their belongings in the house. While they were getting ready to move, they had their Thanksgiving family gathering at their home on November 3rd, 2016, which one of their daughters, Michelle Tyler, and her 2 young sons, and the guy's only son, then 28, Joel Michael Guy Jr., who traveled from Baton Rouge. And this, I just want to point out, because the November 23rd is accurate, but this is the date that Joel Guy Jr. actually traveled in from Baton Rouge. So the other girls, and there was actually 3 daughters that Joel Guy Sr. had from a previous marriage, and Joel Guy Jr. was the only son that him and Lisa had together. But I believe all 3 of his daughters were there at the Thanksgiving dinner, but Michelle apparently, I think, was the only one who had children who were also there at the time of this Thanksgiving dinner. But they reference the date of November 23rd. That was actually the Wednesday. So Thanksgiving was on Thursday. Joel Guy Jr. drove in from Baton Rouge on the Wednesday, and then they had their Thanksgiving dinner the following day on Thanksgiving. So I just wanted to clear that up, make sure there's no confusion there. Okay, so he had dropped out of LSU there in 2015. He would be staying a couple days at his parents' home for Thanksgiving. This would be the last holiday at the home before Joel Sr. and Lisa moved. While both victims were retired, Lisa Guy continued to work only to support her only son, Joel Michael. So basically, Joel Jr. was living in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, had been basically a full-time student his entire life, supported by his parents. Basically they were paying all of his bills. They were paying for him to go to school. They were just completely supporting him in every single way. He had never held down a job. He wasn't being successful in school. As it says here, he actually ended up dropping out, which they found out later. And so he was just, an utter failure. He was 28 years old, and he could feel the walls starting to close in on him, guys. Once, all this thing started moving and being put into place. Like his parents were going to be selling their home and moving out. His mom was going to be retiring. So I think he kind of sensed what was coming. And, that's whenever I think he really got it in his head that he was not going to stand for his parents cutting him off or moving on with their lives while he, didn't really have a plan of his own other than to just mooch off of them. Okay, so here's our next photo. Okay, this is a photo of the family on November 24th, 2016, the day they had Thanksgiving. Joel is standing next to his mother with the family dog in the foreground. Thanksgiving was normal except for a few things that Michelle later stated in court. She stated Joel Michael started talking to her, which was extremely unexpected because, according to Michelle, he never spoke with anyone. I don't even think he knew my kids' names. Joel usually spent all of his time in his room whenever he stayed over at their parents' house. She stated on the stand later in court. Michelle said that she saw 2 large blue tubs in the back seats of Joel Michael's car in the driveway and assumed that they held his belongings. Which, if you know anything about this case, that's very ominous and very freaky that she saw that, okay? So again, this is the picture. I don't know. I mean, I think that the other two girls were there, but, you know, fact check me if I'm wrong about that, guys. But it appears these were Michelle's two boys. This is Joel, the parents, and then I don't know who this person is. But yeah, so basically, this is how it went on Thanksgiving. On Thanksgiving Day, on that 2016. So, when they entered the house, Joel Michael invited Michelle's young sons upstairs to give them toys from a large tub upstairs. Michelle was so put off by this never-before-seen behavior from Joel, so much so that she actually went upstairs at one point to check on her boys. She saw that Joel Michael had given them a large amount of Beanie Babies and other toys. Michelle also stated that Joel Michael's oddly outgoing and friendly nature continued throughout Thanksgiving. At one time, she stated that Joel Michael followed her closely up the stairs that night, and she thought that was extremely strange. According to her, Joel Michael was not acting at all like he had in years past. After dinner, Michelle then left the home with her boys. Okay, so right now, guys, we're going to go on with this article here, but I do just want to, warn anybody if you have any sort of triggers that have to do with seeing crime scene photos, especially blood scenes and graphic content of that nature. There will be descriptions as well. This is your warning right now to either jump off or I would say fast forward, but pretty much the rest of the video is going to contain this sort of material. So this is your warning, okay? Alrighty, y'all. So continuing with this here, okay. 2 days after Thanksgiving, on November 26th, Joel Michael put a horrible, evil plan into action. While his unsuspecting mother was out shopping the morning of November 26th at a nearby Walmart, Joel ambushed and stabbed his father to death in the upstairs exercise room, inflicting more than 40 stab wounds on Joel Sr. The amount of blood in the room shows it was a violent, chaotic attack and that Joel Guy Sr. must have put up a fight. You can see broken window blinds and a nearby torn duvet cover. This is a horrific scene, especially when you look closely at the sheer amount of wild blood spatter everywhere. Joel Sr. had fought for his life. Alright, so this is the upstairs equipment room. Things were knocked over. There was all kinds of evidence, blood everywhere, guys. And you will see this when we go through the crime scene video. Okay, and right here, you can see, I think at this point, they must have removed it, but right here, where this blurry spot is, was, they found Joel Sr.'s severed hand, okay? So that is why that is blurred like that. Okay, so moving on. It says here on this picture, this is a photo of Lisa, who is leaving Walmart with her groceries. Defendant knows he has a window to kill his father while his mother is at Walmart. And this is Lisa Guy shopping at Walmart around 12:15. And this is the last known footage of Lisa Guy alive. When Lisa came home around 12:30 from Walmart, she brought in all the groceries, but they were left untouched in their bags just inside the front door in the foyer. Somehow she was lured upstairs, where she was attacked and stabbed over 30 times at the top of the stairs. Heavy blood soaking and spatters everywhere on the walls and on the stairs. The scene where Lisa Guy was ambushed and stabbed to death, her clothing is in a pile and buckets of drain cleaner sit next to a large blood stain on the floor, which is what this photo we're looking at right here. Okay. Right here pictured is Joel Guy Sr.'s clothes in the exercise room. So after killing both of his parents, he then took all of their clothes off and left them both in neat little piles on the floor. I guess which is it's so disturbing, y'all, because if you've seen other cases, and there have been other cases, one that I can think of just right off the top because it's also fresh, is Chandler, is it Hutcherson or Halderson? Y'all know what I'm talking about. If y'all are into true crime stuff, I'm sure y'all know what I'm talking about, but I think it's Chandler Halderson or something like that, who is a recent case of another son that killed and dismembered both of his parents, and he left his parents' clothing on. And you can see this from different crime scene photos of that particular crime, which I plan to cover one day, but it's just like I have a list now, and it's just kind of like way down there. But you can see this in like uncensored crime scene photos of that horrific scene, and his father's torso is still wearing pants. So it was explained to me, like from different analysis that I heard from that crime, that they do this because they don't want to see, their parents or whoever it is the killer's dismembering. They don't want to see their naked body and their genitals, but like this guy stripped both his parents down, and left their clothes on the floor. I mean, it's just, I don't know, that doesn't tell you something about the psyche and the mind frame of this person. I don't know what. I just don't know what. Okay, so Joel Michael then began to dismember the bodies. Joel Guy Sr.'s hands were severed and his arms were severed at the shoulder blade. His legs were removed at the hip and his right foot was removed. His hands were left in the exercise room on the floor. Lisa Guy's legs were cut off below the knee and her arms at the shoulder. Her head was removed. Joel Michael put his parents' body parts in 2 large blue Rubbermaid type tubs full of chemicals to dissolve the remains, and most disturbing of all, he put his mother's severed head in a large covered cooking pot on the stove with some kind of liquid and turned the heat on to simmer. Okay? Disgusting. So after the crime, because in the process of this, he had injured himself pretty badly. So he went to Walmart after the killing, and in the process of attacking his parents, he received injuries to his hands that were severe enough that he decided he needed to do something about it. At about 3:30 p.m. that day, he went to the exact same Walmart his mother had just come from about 2 hours earlier and was caught on security camera buying medical tape, bandages, and other first aid supplies to treat his injuries. And you can see where his injuries are on his hands in these stills. You can see where he kind of already tried to wrap his hands up. And I will show you guys another video which you can more clearly see his injuries later on in this video. So, very disturbing, very sick man he is. And I guarantee you he wasn't done at this point. He had just, he probably just only been able to kill them and maybe had just started the dismemberment process, but I guarantee you he was not anywhere near done because he never actually finished the job period at all. I mean, I don't know what he was thinking with this crime, but he was so sloppy with it and so careless. It's almost as if he was trying to get away with it per his actions and all of the things and measures that he took, but the way that it was executed was so lazy and sloppy that it was just but were you trying to get away with it, or were you deliberately trying to get caught? Because it seems like it was two very bipolar sides of the same coin that was happening throughout this time, guys. So, all right, now we're going to get into the video, or no. Yep. So, first of all, let's see. I want to explain how, let's see, what was I going to do first? Oops, sorry. All right, y'all. That was the house, okay, that was screened off with the caution tape, okay? Here are some family photos. I just want to make sure that I have the right thing here before we go on. Okay, so basically, how did he get caught? How did he ultimately get caught? Well, at the time that this happened, this was a Saturday where he committed these crimes, and he ended up going back to Baton Rouge on the Sunday, apparently, and he just kind of left the scene there. And it's unclear whether or not he was going to go back. It seems as if he was planning on going back, but his frame of mind and his thought process were just completely devoid of any sort of, you know, smart thinking or like mindfulness when it came to this crime. Obviously, he showed zero mindfulness. He showed the opposite of any sort of care, thought, or planning or anything like that. I mean, and it's so bizarre because, like I said, there were very specially laid out plans that he just never even took the time to follow. I just still don't understand to this day. But on the days following what had happened at the house, Lisa was due to be back at work on the Monday, and she was having a going away party because she was planning on retiring. So at first, you know, there was this I guess this idea that he was going to return and that nobody would like think to check on his parents at the time. But before he could even consider coming back and finishing the job that he started, when Lisa did not show up on the Monday morning of work, you know, for her going away party, immediately her coworkers were alarmed and they knew something was wrong because this was very much unlike Lisa. She was always on time to work, and if she was going to miss or be late, she would call and let somebody know immediately. And not only was she not showing up for work, not answering her phone, but you know, she knew that this going away party was happening, so it was just very suspicious all around. They knew that Lisa would never have just disappeared up and not answered her phone if something had not been wrong. So her coworkers actually called the police to do a welfare check on Lisa and figure out, you know, what was going on and why she wasn't at work. So the Knox County officers actually responded to this call to do this welfare check, and so Knox County officers Stephen Ballard and Jeremy McCord, they found a seemingly empty house on Golden View Lane, and they noticed that the property was listed for sale, but there was no real estate lock on the front door. So, you know how they have that like lock that they'll put with like the key in it? So there was none of that, which they found to be odd. So they soon discovered that the back door doorknob had been removed and installed on the front door, which seems like that was probably part of Joel's plan, because if he left the lockbox on the front door, then somebody could just use that key to get in, right? So, like I said, when they went to the rear and discovered what had happened with the doorknobs being switched, they were immediately thrown off guard. And through the front door, they could see the groceries that were lying on the floor in the foyer. And there was obviously, you know, perishable items like bacon, you know, ice cream that they could see. And they were like, well, this is odd. This is strange. Nobody's answering the door, but yet here are these groceries here. This is not normal. And the doorknobs being switched is also a huge red flag. So once they were in the back, through the hole that was left by the missing doorknob, they could sense heat and a strange smell emanating from the house. And then with that, and then the groceries being left in the front foyer, they were very alarmed by this, and so they took the opportunity to get one of the garage door clickers out of their vehicle, and they gained access to the house through the garage by opening up the garage door and entering through there. And so they first discovered a table with the guys' wallets and a sledgehammer, and then another with long guns. Downstairs, the stove was on, and the contents of a pot were boiling. At the bottom of the stairs were the grocery items last seen earlier, and then that's when they went upstairs, and they could hear a dog barking its head off in one of the bedrooms upstairs, like distressed barking. So right now, guys, we're going to get into the crime scene video, and this is another trigger warning. If you're not wanting to see this, it's going to be graphic, and I'm going to be reading from you guys, or for you guys, from the notes that he hand wrote himself which I will show you guys now what they look like, and then I will be reading them out loud while the video plays. So these are the notes that he actually wrote, and these were his very carefully, quote unquote, laid out plans, okay, that he took the time to write pages and pages worth of step-by-step instructions for himself, and not only instructions, but lists of assets and things like this that he was going to plan to be inheriting from his parents. So he had it all figured out, guys. Why then he acted like an utter retard and didn't go through with any of this and just kind of gave up is as good a guess as anyone could ever make. We're not sure. So again, I'm going to play this video now, and then we will, I'll be reading the letters, and then I will put everything in the description if you guys want to go back and read them yourself, okay? And just so y'all know, this is another still shot. He was caught on video camera buying different items. 11/7, 11/18, 11/19, he was caught on video, on CCTV footage, buying multiple different items for this crime. So, like, he was seen at different stores on different days, buying different items that will later be used in the execution of this crime. Okay, so let me get into now the video. Let's see here. All right, y'all. Here we go. Okay. Mute this. Okay, and so now I'll be reading you guys from the letter in no particular order, I don't think, because it's all just a bunch of insanity, ravings of a madman. So, let's see. Okay, so here's just a list of the what it says at the very top. Minimize things I touched throughout visit. Wear gloves and socks to prevent fingerprints and footprints. Drop something down the garbage disposal to break it and get him on the ground fixing it, and then kill him with the knife. Clean up mess from him before she gets home. Kill her with knife. Kill dog. And then that is scratched out because he apparently reneges on that and decides that he's going to take the dog with you. And he didn't end up doing that either. So then he goes on to the next step. Place her in shower. Turn on hot water and point at her to get rid of forensics. Remove her clothes and take them with me for disposal. Place him in plastic bin and use it to get him into the upstairs bathroom. Cut off his arm and plant his flesh under her fingernails. Place her hand with his DNA so that his DNA is not washed away in shower. Use sodium hydroxide to destroy his soft tissue and to soften bones for transport. Baste once every hour to accelerate. Flush sodium hydroxide down the toilet. Wash out bin with handheld shower, and then drain and then direct handheld into toilet to flush everything out of the pipes and into the public waterway. And thanks for that. Planning on contaminating public water. Great. Love that. Why I don't drink out of the faucet. One of the reasons. Anywho, I digress. Okay. Douse killing rooms with bleach. Because, okay, alright. Place hair curler with flammable paper and flammable containers of gasoline in 4 locations. And what were the 4 locations? Oh, let me make this video bigger for you guys. I didn't realize it wasn't full screen. Okay. Oh no, I'm not going to be able to do that because, you know what, I need to read. Sorry. Okay. I just hope you guys can see this. Hang on. Alright, continuing with the notes. So he said he wanted to place the hair curlers with flammable paper and flammable contents of gasoline in 4 locations: his killing room, her killing room, his bathroom, her bathroom, and then wipe down areas near killing rooms and bathrooms. Turn heaters up to 90 to melt fingerprints and dry everything. Okay, because that's how that works. Set her phone to send me a text message late Sunday to prove that I was in BR and she was alive. Leave through front door and wipe down doorknobs. Timer for flammables set for Friday at 10 a.m. So, sunlight masks fire, but not smoke. Okay, so he's going to wait a whole week almost. He was going to set the timer for an entire week before, blowing up the house, I guess. I don't know. Okay, so this next paper is titled Killings. Okay, and or this is what, I guess, a list of things that he needed. Okay, get knives, quiet, multiple. Get sledgehammer, crush bones. Okay, so real nice guy here. Let's see, I'm just checking the video. I don't want it to run out. Okay, bring blender and food grinder to grind meat, he says. Meat. Get bleach, denature proteins. Get plastic bin for denaturation process. Does not matter where they're killed. Just get rid of bloody spots to prevent evidence of time of death, not the mattress or couches. Get rid of bodies inside a house. There and my DNA already there. Okay, so then he crossed out a part. It says often doggy door to provide entryway, or open doggy door to provide entryway. Then he scratched that out. Okay, so flush chunks down toilet, not garbage disposal. He changed his mind on that. Get plastic sheeting for disposal process. Okay, get hollow point bullets just in case. Then he scratched that out. He decided against the gun, guys. He said it's gonna be a stabbing death. Okay, so, and then it says will be seen buying bullets. Just use computer room, and so your logic is flawed here, sir. Because you were seen buying everything else but bullets. So I mean, do you think that they only monitor bullet purchases or what? I mean, what's going on there? What's going on with you? Please let me know. Okay, let me pause that because that's a different video, and then I will show you guys next this footage of him in the Walmart. Okay, let me just fix this speed. And then this is from the trial. This is him at the Walmart after the crimes were committed, and footage of him buying all of his stuff to fix his bandages and his little boo-boos that he got from murdering his parents in cold blood. So I'm going to play this while I finish the notes, and then we will come back. Okay? Okay, so there's a lot here. Sorry, I didn't think reading that slow, but I'll try to speed it up. Okay, so after the whole bullet conversation he had with himself, it says, check to make sure that there are bullets, last resort. Okay, so you're all over the place. Oh, anyways, he's not alive to claim her half of the insurance money. All mine, he says. All mine. And in parentheses, $500,000. So that's what he was doing this for, is $500,000. Okay. Flood the house. Okay. And it would basically cover up forensic evidence, he says. Turn heater up as high as it goes. Speeds decomposition. Bleach reacts with luminol, just like blood. Douse area with bleach. Big sprayer, lie, trash compactor, question mark. So these were just random thoughts that he was having with himself. So it says douse killing rooms with bleach. Okay, so we already read through all of that. Let me go on to the next note here, because there was a whole lot here. A whole lot of notes going on. Notes and hose. Sorry, I'm not funny. Anyways, okay, guys. So there was also another page that at the bottom half of this other page said body gives time of death, and he pointed an arrow to the alibi. Don't have to get rid of body if there is no forensic evidence on the body. His fingerprints and DNA, And then finally, he was going over the assets that he would be getting from his parents, and he was listing those for himself. And it said her assets, her life insurance, $500,000. With him missing and dead, I get the whole thing. Okay, and all of her other assets are joint, go to him if missing, unknown if he is dead. His assets were the Knoxville house, includes all joint property if missing. Okay, and worthless after fire. And the Surgunville house appraised at $400,000. Her car, his SUV, his boat, his old truck. And then of course he had took stock of all the rifles that were sitting there on the table, and he was, I'm sure, planning on doing something with that as well. So pretty sick, guys. And as y'all can tell, obviously from the notes and what he wrote there, what I was reading off, he did not follow through with, like, it does not seem any part of these neurotic and bipolar thoughts and plans that he had so carefully drawn up, and he just left the house with evidence everywhere. And he left the notebook with these notes, with these, laid out plans in the house, in his bedroom. So it was like a perfect crime if you want to get caught and look like an utter psychopath and dumbass. So in that aspect, I guess he succeeded, but in the eyes of everyone else, it's a dub. You take the L in every single way. I mean, this is one of the worst crimes I've seen footage of, that I've heard described, that I have actually seen footage of somebody at trial. I mean, you guys could see from this last video we just watched of him at Walmart, him watching this footage, he had the same look that he had just then on his face while crime scene photos were being showed in court, while photos and videos of his parents were being shown in court, while victim impact statements were being read. He was stoic, crazy-eyed, and uncaring, unwavering, unemotional throughout the entire trial. I mean, this man, I don't know what is wrong with him, but it goes deep. It goes deep, and I think that he's just one of these people that is evil, and like to the core, and has no feelings whatsoever, no sympathy, no empathy, no nothing. I mean, he's void, completely void, and possibly possessed by demons. I'm not sure, but that is speculation. I can only imagine that is what the case is, though. So I next want to show you guys the a little bit of footage from his arrest, because they were able to track him down pretty quick, and it didn't take much to find him. I mean, being that all of the evidence that he left for them. And so they tracked him down, arrested him the next day after finding all of this, and he was arrested at his place in Baton Rouge. And this is how he was presenting himself, and it looks like he was wearing the same clothes even. I mean, just pretty gross person in general. But yeah, this was him on the day of the arrest, okay? And they're going to show his hands so you guys can see closely the injuries that he had to his hands, and just his utter state of being here. It's just very, very sad situation. And so, yeah, guys, what do y'all think about this? I mean, it's pretty disturbing case. Like I said, there's so much you can say, there's so much you can look at in this case, but it's just one of those ones that there's no understanding anything that went on here. There is no logic. There was no reason for this. Obviously, crimes are horrible. When you take someone's life, it is always senseless. But in this case, what for? Like, what for? His parents had supported him his entire life. And just because now he might be losing that support, and as a 28-year-old man, he was going to have to then, take care of himself, he decides to kill his parents for $500,000 and thought he could get away with it in the gruesome way that he did. I mean, just, he had to have known leaving that house that he was going to get caught. I mean, there was evidence everywhere. And there's just no way that he really thought that, you know, anything that he did, even setting a timer to, you know, explode the house or catch the house on fire, which I don't even think that he actually successfully did, was going to take care of all of the evidence and the shit that he left behind. Because when a house catches fire in a residential neighborhood, usually they can catch it and then put it out pretty quickly. And then what? Then you just have still these tubs of his parents' dismembered body parts in the upstairs master bathroom with all this other evidence everywhere. I mean, it just was like, it's just none of it made any sense whatsoever. It's horrific in every way imaginable. And even more horrific was his demeanor. And during, like I said, during the trial, and how he acted, like he had no remorse whatsoever. So he even asked during the trial, he specifically filed a motion asking, sorry y'all. He filed a motion asking for the death penalty, which they ended up denying, which I thought he deserved. If anybody deserved the death penalty, it's this guy. But I think that the only reason why they denied it was because he wanted it. So they were like, they just did it to spite him, I guess. But it's kind of fucked up. I mean, it's kind of just like, what the hell? Just put him out of his misery. I mean, I don't know. So I could go over some of the trial footage if y'all want. Let me know in the comments down below. I can make another video about that. But it's a lot, guys. So I don't know if I will. I mean, especially if nobody says anything about it, because it's just, this case is very disturbing, and it disturbs me on multiple different levels. So let me know what y'all think about this. Have y'all heard of this case before? And you know, if so, what are your thoughts on this person? What could have been his, I mean, we know that his motive was obviously the money, but like, what was the thinking behind that? Doing something like this for that small amount of money in the way that he did it, not even one shred of common sense or book smarts or anything. I mean, it's just absolutely idiotic in every single way. So, there was an interesting tidbit, though, I do want to share with you guys before this ends. It later came out that his roommate, apparently, they might have had a little something going on. You know, he lived with a guy in Baton Rouge, and there was all kinds of weird and, like, I don't know, awkward jail phone calls that happened after this murder. And they played those in court, and it was kind of alluded that he might have had, you know, a little bit of gay tendencies towards his roommate. And they might have had a little, I don't know, lesbian love affair between them two. And so that was that was an interesting thing that came out during court. But still, it's like, what? Yeah, he was a tortured soul for sure. But what was your thinking? What was your thinking, Joel Guy Jr.? Because you scare me, and you're a disturbed individual, and you're going to hell, and I hope you know that. So, y'all let me know, guys, what do y'all think about this case? Please let me know, because it's just, every time I go over this or revisit this case, it fucks my mind up all over again. So, y'all let me know in the comments down below. Like the video if you liked it. I don't know. I mean, it's really hard to like anything having to do with this freak. But, you know, if you enjoyed my explanation of it, if you enjoyed my commentary, if you enjoyed my channel, give it a like, guys. Subscribe on your way out if that's what you want to do. I would appreciate it. But most of all, guys, y'all stay safe, and be on the lookout for people that look like him. You know, physiognomy is real. And sometimes it can tell you everything that you need to know. So, y'all, you know, take care of yourselves and your family and your mental health. And until next time, guys, I will see y'all later. All right, bye.